So we're looking into clusters and how innovation capabilities was evolving from a startup company to a more mature level of business.
حجم مبيعات الاونلاين حوالي 20% من الدايركت تشانلز اللي موجوده جوه العرب.
We do it in iteration, step by step, following the design thinking mindset. And if you live it up as a leader on a daily basis, people will follow you. But if you're just doing kind of your lip service saying now everyone is innovative, it's not going to happen. You have to live it up on a daily basis.
Dr. Manal, how she used to introduce this approach to the whole corporation in order to engage in 5x growth for the Elaraby Group.
فانت ممكن توصل لليفل اوف بيرسوناليزيشن انك تعمل بروموشن بير بيرسون، ان انت تبقى عامل تراكنج للجورني بتاعت الكاستمر كلها، فعارف ان المنتجات اللي عند الكاستمر.
Okay, let me first introduce this session. For sure, I'm so happy to be with you today. Actually, I would like to express my gratitude to NEXUS Training and Development Company for giving me this opportunity to conduct this interview, this precious interview. Let me first introduce some points about NEXUS. NEXUS is a training and development company that connects the local business community with thought leaders, experts, authors, in everything in the business in general. The goal is to have professionals and organizations progress by exposing them to the latest knowledge and opportunities and ideas. Also, NEXUS has organized events in Egypt featuring influential figures such as Philip Kotler, known as the father of modern marketing for sure, Stephen Covey, the author of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Michael Porter, the global expert in competitive strategy, Tony Buzan, the inventor of the mind map, Brian Tracy, and many other speakers. Today, we are fortunate to have 2 exceptional guests with us. First, we have Professor Michael Lewrick, who is an expert in design thinking and innovation. Michael is a best-selling author, award-winning design thinking and business ecosystem design thought leader, business entrepreneur, and visiting professor at various universities globally. His ideas, books, and company, Lewrick and Company, help mobilize people around the world to better lead innovation, digital transformation, and business growth. He's the author of the 5 international bestsellers in which he describes the mindful transformation of people, teams, ecosystems, and organizations, the Design Thinking Playbook, the Design Thinking Toolbox, the Design Thinking Life Playbook, and my favorite book, Design Thinking for Business Growth, and Design Thinking and Innovation Metrics, latest book introducing the metrics and measurement techniques and tools for innovation. Also, we have our second precious guest, Dr. Manal Negmeldin, who holds the position of head of their channels, and also she's the at Elaraby Group, the head of digital and omni-channel Elaraby Group, a group of 40,000 employees started by her grandfather 56 years ago. Dr. Manal, she's a subject matter expert at e-business and digital transformation. She started her e-business career since 2003. She's managing a team of 700 people at Elaraby Group, where she established the e-business department 15 years ago. In 2015, she led the huge digital transformation strategies inauguration initiated by her activity and strategies to transform the Elaraby Group toward the digital era. Additionally, she's a lecturer at European University Business School and AUC, as well as she's the CEO and founder of e-business school and e-learning portal specialized in digital business learning. Thanks a lot, dears, for being here with us. And hopefully we will start introducing our thoughts, your business insights, and so on. So let's start with Professor Michael. Professor Michael, actually, I'm thrilled that you will be participating in NEXUS upcoming event, Growth Plus in Cairo. I would greatly appreciate if you could give us a brief summary of how and why you became an expert in design thinking.
Well, that's a long story, but it started 20 years ago. And I, at this time, was doing my PhD on innovation capabilities. And what I was focusing on was really on innovation clusters. So we were looking into clusters and how innovation capabilities was evolving from a startup company to a more mature level of business. And at this time, I had the opportunity to meet Larry Leifer from Stanford University. And he has brought a totally new idea to innovation management and the whole mindset around to my studies. So because at this time, 20 years ago, we were focusing on different typologies of innovation. We were talking about product innovation, process innovation, business model innovation was coming along a little bit, and process innovation. And at the same time, we were looking into like radical and incremental innovation. And this was kind of the approach of the time to look into innovation management. And then Larry Leifer came along and was telling me, well, it's all about customer centricity, it's all about the mindset, and we have to do a lot of iterations, and it's always the problems, not the ideas. And he opened up like a totally new view on the topic of innovation to me. And I was really curious in learning more about design thinking. And he invited me later on then to Stanford University. We were starting to collaborate within the Sugar Network. And then I was Chief Innovation Officer with Swiss Telecom. And we started really kind of bringing like European companies to Stanford on collaborating with students on different design challenges. And from this onwards, I was really deep involved into the research in Stanford and looking how design thinking can evolve over time, because something stays, it's a mindset, but everything else, like the challenges around, they're always moving. So we have like big challenges right now regard to sustainability and the climate crisis. We have also geopolitical crisis we have to solve. And the mindset is the same, but the challenges are different over time. And that's kind of the beauty about design thinking, that we stay with the same mindset, but we look into the next challenges to adapt it and also to apply it. And this is how I grow into the entire design thinking methodology.
Great approach. دكتور منال، طبعا حضرتك انت as a leader في البزنس in general business ecosystem approach a community، وحضرتك يمكن من الكيس ستاديز العظيمه اللي بنتكلم فيها كالعربي جروب والتحول الكبير اللي حصل اعتبارا من 2015 اللي حضرتك اضفتيه طبعا بوجودك هناك. كنا محتاجين اعرف برضو your influence عن ال entrepreneurial ecosystem approach والجروث بالذات ما يخص الديجيتال ماركتنج وتاثيره عليهم.
طيب خلينا نتكلم على الجزء بتاع الانتربرينور شيب في الاول. طبعا احنا از فاميلي بزنس ابتدينا كده. الحاج محمود الله يرحمه ابتدى اول ستور يشتريه بمجهوده، وكان بيدور على فاوندرز ان هم يبقوا موجودين عشان ينفستوا معاه في اول ستور. فاحنا عندنا يعني باك جراوند قوي جدا جدا في موضوع الانتربرينور شيب. طبعا ده كده في الدي ان ايه بتاع الفاميلي ممبرز اللي موجودين. فازاي برضو ان انت تاخد نفس المايند سيت ده في كوربريت استراتيجي، ازاي ان انت تبتدي تعمل ستارت ابس صغيره جوه الكوربريت دي. فاول حاجه برضو ممكن ان اشاركك فيها كان الديبارتمنت بتاعه الديجيتال بزنس اول ما اتوجدت في العربي كانت شغاله بمايند سيت بتاعه الستارت ابس. كنا عدد من الناس قليل جدا شغالين مالتي هاتس، فلكسبل جدا جدا وريزيلينت جدا جدا، عشان نبتدي نديفلوب البارت دوت جوه العربي ويكبر واحده واحده لحد ما بقى حجم مبيعات الاونلاين حوالي 20% من الدايركت تشانلز اللي موجوده جوه العربي. فده ممكن الجزء الاولاني بتاع الستارت ابس والانتربرينور شيب. لو هنتكلم على الجزء الثاني بتاع الديجيتاليزيشن، طبعا احنا اول كومباني بقى لنا فوق 56 سنه ماشيين بالتطور اللي موجود على طول. يعني احنا دايما بنشوف ايه التطور اللي موجود في الماركت علشان نبقى سابقين فيه وليدر فيه. فكان مهم جدا جدا ان احنا كمان ما نجهلش الموضوع بتاع التكنولوجي جوه الكوربريت عندنا، سواء بقى ان انت بتروح في ديجيتال ماركتنج او اي كوميرس، او ان انت ديجيتالايز كل البروسيسز اللي موجوده عندك جوه الشركه نفسها.
جميل. Let me involve Mr. Michael in this. Actually, we have a huge case study, a well-known company, Elaraby Group in Egypt. It's a family business, huge family business, but we have a challenge for Dr. Manal to transform the mindset of this organization from the traditional models toward the digital era. And actually, it was, we know there is succession generation problems in anywhere concerning the corporate approach, but she succeeded in transforming this business toward at least 20% of the growth concerning the digital sales and direct selling and digital marketing channels. And it was actually a huge success story in Egypt. And of course, Elaraby Group is not an just Egyptian company. It's a Middle East huge corporation for sure. And that's why this is transform the transaction, the discussion toward you concerning the corporate culture, concerning innovation. Your approach about the cultural challenges concerning introducing an innovation mindset into a corporate. Is it easy for you, or something like your company, Lewrick & Company, this is your main objective, right?
That is our main objective, and it's not an easy task, because usually human beings say what they have been known for years and decades. And I think a lot of things happened in the past, like our school system, our universities, how we educate people from really kind of small age until they go into our professional life. And all these structures are not good for innovating on a later stage, because usually there's only one solution, right? We're not looking again into the problem space. We're not living up these experiments. And usually most of our organizations are driven for efficiency. So we're really good in exploiting, in running the business and getting even more efficiency right now with artificial intelligence. We're really awesome in doing all these things, but we're lacking the capabilities to explore, to being curious about new things, to leave our comfort zone. And this is basically where we're focusing on. We're trying really to unschool, and uneducate people about the mindsets they have at the status quo, and going back a little bit kind of a child-wise attitude of exploring again and finding a ways to create something totally new, imagine what does the future bring, asking a lot of what-if questions. And this really helps them to get a different mindset into the organization. And this is nothing, it's not done in like 6 months to 12 months. This usually takes a couple of years. It needs like a strong commitment from the leadership. And as a leader, you have to live it up on a daily basis. When I was operating as a chief innovation officer for Swiss Telecom, I was doing this on a daily basis. We're saying, look, we have a different feedback culture. We first ask our customers, we validate our approach. We're not just producing something, creating something and put it to the market. We do it in iterations, step by step. We're following the design thinking mindset. And if you live it up as a leader on a daily basis, people will follow you. But if you're just doing kind of your lip service saying now everyone is innovative, it's not going to happen. You have to live it up on a daily basis.
Great. The same question return back to Dr. Manal concerning your case study. The opportunity today that we have two mindsets, which have both of them have the academic and executive experience. دكتور منال كخبيرة فيما يخص الكاستمر سنتريسيتي، أنا متابع جيد لحضرتك ولآرائك دايما فيما يخص الكاستمر سنتريسيتي، وقد ايه حضرتك لما اشتغلتي عليها كاستراتيجي في العربي جروب قدرتوا تعملوا نجاحات كبيره في السوق وملموسه جدا. ممكن تكون الناس شايفه النجاح لكن مش فاهمه اللي ورا النجاح ده من استراتيجيات ونشاطات واكتيفيتيز بسبب ما يسمى الكاستمر سنتريسيتي. فكنت محتاج ان حضرتك تدينا جزء من الخبره العمليه في هذا النطاق.
طيب هقول لك الاول على الكونسيبت بتاع الكاستمر سنتريستي، احنا بنفكر ازاي في جوه العرب للكاستمرز، وبعد كده هشير احنا طبقنا ده على الموظفين بتاعنا. كاستمر سنتريستي دي غلطه كبيره قوي ان اغلب الشركات بتقوم بيها، ان هي بتفكر هي هتقدر تقدم ايه للكاستمر، بغض النظر ان احنا ما بنفكرش من الكاستمر برسبكتيف هو الكاستمر ده محتاج ايه البين بوينت بتاعته، او ايه النيد، او ايه اللي انت لو عملته له الفانكشن اللي بيدور عليها فهو هيبقى مبسوط وساتيسفايد ومديله اكسبيرينس سيمليس اكسبيرينس مختلفه. فده دايما الغلطه اللي بتقع فيها الشركات. فالحاجه الصح ان انت تبتدي تبني الاستراتيجي بتاعتك جايه من برسبكتيف الكاستمر سنتريسيتي، الكاستمر ايه الفانكشن اللي بيدور عليها. هو النهارده الكونسيومر بيهيفير اتغير فبيدور على تقسيط، فانت مهم ان انت تبقى عندك الفيتشر دي او الفانكشن ده. طب هو النهارده بقى الحاجه سعرها غالي قوي فعايز مثلا يعمل اكستشينج او تريد ان، فانت المفروض برضه تبقى سابق بخطوه وتعمل الفيتشرز دي او الفانكشنز دي. فده مهم قوي ان انت دايما بتبقى بتذاكر الكونسيومر بيهيفير بتاعك والتغير بتاعه في الماركت عامل ازاي، عشان انت دايما تبقى سابق بخطوه وبتقدم له اللي هو بيفكر فيه او اللي هو محتاجه. وده فعلا بيعمل شيفت بشكل غير عادي في البروسيسز جوه الشركه اولا، وفي الاكسبيرينس اللي انت بتقدمها للكاستمر من بعد. طيب احنا ازاي بقى بنابلاي ده على الموظفين اللي جوه العربي؟ احنا از فاميلي بزنس احنا بنكونسيدر ان كل الموظفين بارت من الفاميلي، فاحنا مش من الشركات اللي هتلاقيها بتمشي حد الا يعني لمأساة حصلت او ان هو سنه كبر. لان احنا عندنا مثلا في الديبارتمنت اللي معايا في البي تو سي احنا معانا ناس بقى لها اكتر من 40 سنه شغاله في الشركه، وده كان تشالنج كبير انك ازاي تغير المايند سيت بتاعت الناس اللي شغاله بالاولد سكول بقى لها كتيره جدا، وان انت تخليهم شغالين كمان بالتكنولوجي، ازاي هم ياكسبت التكنولوجي دي ويتعاملوا معاها. فالتشالنج ده ما كانش حاجه طبعا سهله. في ال3 سنين اللي فاتوا احب اقول لك ان نفس الناس اللي احنا ابتدينا بيهم في الدايركت شانلز لحد النهارده عملوا 5x في الديبارتمنت دي which is ان ده كمان بيحصل في الستارت ابس بس مش بيحصل في الكوربريت. فانت ازاي برضو implemented الريزيلينس والفلكسبيليتي اللي موجوده في الستارت اب وخدت فيتشرز اللطيفه اللي فيها وعملت امبلمنتيشن لجوه كوربريت كبيره باولد هيستوري زي العربي. طبعا زي ما بتذاكر الكونسيومر بتوعك بره بتذاكر الكونسيومر بتوعك اللي جوه او الكاستمرز بتوعك اللي جوه اللي هم الامبلويز. بتقدر تشوف ايه الباريرز اللي هي منعيهم ان هم يحصل لهم ديفلوبمنت، ازاي تعمل لهم ديفلوبمنت، ايه البين بوينت اللي عندهم، ايه الحاجات اللي ممكن لو انت صلحتها بحاجه بسيطه تخليهم يديفلوب او يبرفورم بشكل احسن. فاحنا اخذنا اكتر من 6 شهور ان احنا نذاكر ده، نعمل دايجنوسيس اناليسيس لكل المشاكل اللي موجوده واللي بيواجهها الامبلويز. ابتدينا نعمل ديفلوبمنت بلان على اكتر من بيلر، ان ازاي بقى هنحسن الناس دي، ازاي هنديفلوب الناس دي، ازاي هننتروديوس التكنولوجي اللي تخليهم تساعدهم ان هم يأدوا احسن في الشانلز المختلفه، في الدايركت شانلز المختلفه. فده انا بعتبره سكسس ستوري، ان نفس الناس اللي موجودين احنا عملنا سيستم مختلف، عملنا لهم ديفلوبمنت قوي جدا، هم نفس النجاحات مش بارقام عاديه ممكن تتحقق في كوربريت، ده بتتحقق في ستارت ابس ان انت تعمل 5x في 3 سنين. فده واحد من الحاجات اللي انا شايفاها ان يعني ربنا وفقنا فيها جامد قوي.
Great, shukran. Mr. Michael, we were talking about the customer centricity, and it's the focus, the Elaraby Group, and Dr. Manal, how she used to introduce this approach to the whole corporation in order to engage in 5x growth for the Elaraby Group. And also introducing this culture of customer centricity with the whole staff and digital marketing strategy. From your side approach, you are one of the few business thinkers who introduced the term the ecosystem design. Actually, I love your approach concerning it. We are not building a company, we are building a whole ecosystem. And you introduced the term the minimum viable ecosystem as well. Also, it's based upon the customer centricity as well. So I need your approach about the challenges concerning even today in the AI-powered economy. You introduced lately some latest updates concerning your ecosystem by AI tools. So we need some thoughts about what we will get from your knowledge in the coming Growth Plus, hopefully.
Of course. Yes, first of all, I think it's really important now to speak about ecosystems, because we are really in a really dynamic way of operating, and we see exponential change. We see exponential growth, and it comes of paramount importance to be quick, right? And if you start building all these capabilities and resources in your own single company, it's not going to happen. So you need kind of an ecosystem approach to adapt quickly to the market, to respond to new customer needs. And the ecosystem is one way of creating new value propositions. And when it comes to the design thinking mindset, in 2014, I introduced one core element, which comes now of paramount importance to the design thinking mindset. And the element I added was accept complexity. And this is quite important. Now, in this world of artificial intelligence, of digital channels, of so many things we have to consider, we have to accept the complexity of the system to create something, because this will not go away. And that's the reason why we use in ecosystems design 2 paradigms. We use the design thinking paradigm to be customer focused. At the same time, we use systems thinking to break down a complex system into smaller parts, and both things together providing the methodology of creating the ecosystem. And then, of course, we were looking into kind of approach, look to have like the same mindset as we use in the lean startup community. So the minimum viable product was a blueprint of creating the minimum viable ecosystem. So we're using the same principles. So basically, we design first, we try out with a minimum amount of actors, we prove all our value streams, we're looking into the business model of the ecosystem, but also into the business models of all these actors in the system to make them happy. And once this is stable and we have organized the value streams and we've identified all the benefits for the actors, then we start to scale the system. And that's kind of the same idea as the MVP. We're testing until we go to the market. And that's the reason why this is now kind of a common way of thinking about these things. And even all these big consultancy companies globally using now ecosystems design helping their customers to create business ecosystems. At the same time, we see a lot of platform companies, like internet platform companies, moving from more like centralized ecosystems into a more decentralized way of operating. And for them, this is really the next idea of growth, creating ecosystems and leveraging the platform to the next level. And that's the reason why I think this concept is really interesting. And of course, at the Growth Plus conference, I will speak about these concepts. I will give examples. And of course, hopefully we meet in person and we have also kind of coffee talks about the topic.
Okay, that's why there is a part in your approach that there is a hidden work from the competitors. You introduced the term the black ocean. We used in marketing to talk about the blue ocean, something that we are introducing something different than others, but still competitors are tracing our steps and path. But the problem here in ecosystem design, the competitors are not actually knowing anything about this, because you're linking some canvas of relationship and partnerships to enhance you said it, your captivability, right? And enhanceability, and then replicability of your system approach.
I think this is quite important. What he's saying, with the black ocean strategy, you have to design the strategy with the customer input and do it in iterations. So I have a lot of traditional companies that tell me, Michael, now we create the ecosystem. And then they tell me we do the strategic approach as we did in the last 20 years. So Porter's 5 forces, we do like the competitive analysis needed and all these things. Well, basically you can do these things, but you will not be successful because usually the ecosystem you create is not existing in the market. That's new to the market and new to the customer. So there will be no benchmark, right? If you are the first one creating this unique ecosystem with like the best actors, with the well-designed value streams, you have to build it from scratch and not reaching out for like benchmarks and other ecosystems to copy. This is something you really build on the greenfield. And this is quite important. Most of the ecosystems are built from scratch and really unique and looking into the new customer needs. And we're not talking about partner management. We're not talking about supply chains. It's a different way of operating. And that's the reason why I'm also put together like 10 mind shifts of coming from the traditional way of thinking into ecosystem thinking. And all these mind shifts are really important to be successful in the end.
Great. Also دكتور منال الفترة اللي جاية احنا منتظرين العربي جروب السباق كالعادة والقائد في المقدمة فيما يخص التكنولوجي. يعني التكنولوجي دلوقتي احنا داخلين على الويب 3 وميتافيرس واي اي باورد سولوشنز، واكيد انتم شركة تكنولوجية بتقدم حلول تكنولوجية كتير. وانا اصر على كلمة حلول مش مجرد ديفايسز وخلاص. التولز اللي حضراتكم بتحضروا نفسكم طبعا اكيد في اسرار مش هتتقال، لكن الابروتش نفسه في التحول نحو العصر القادم اللي هو اسرع مما نتخيل ما يخص الاي اي والويب 3 والميتافيرس. رؤيه حضرتك ايه فيما يخص المستقبل؟
خلينا نقول ان احنا من الناس المجتهده قوي في نقعد نذاكر كل السولوشنز اللي موجوده جديده. احنا في حاجه برضو جايه بيزد من الكاستمر سنترستي، لما لقينا ان كاستمرز كتير محتارين هي الثلاجه دي مكانها تيجي هنا، التلفزيون ده هيبقى سيوتبل في الليفنج روم ولا لا. فاحنا عملنا ابلكيشن اسمه العربي اي ار، ده بيديسبلاي البرودكتس بالريل دايمنشنز عشان الكاستمر يجرب الاول قبل ما يدخل في الاونلاين اكسبيرينس او الاونلاين بيرشيزنج. فدي حاجه من الحاجات اللي احنا عاملينها وبنديفلوب فيها وبنقاد عليها برودكتس كل فتره. الحاجه الثانيه طبعا الشات بوت، احنا برضو من اوائل الناس اللي اشتغلنا عليها، وده مش معناه ان احنا مثلا هنقول ان في عندنا هنخليهم ما يبقوش شغالين ولا ان هم يعني يبقوا مش موجودين في العربي او في عائله العربي. لا بالعكس، احنا بنشوف ان ده بيخلينا مور ايفيشنت، ان احنا الاول الكاستمر بيدايركتد على الشات بوت، بيشوف ازاي بعد كده ممكن ايجنت يساعده اند سو اون. بس يعني ايه بيخلي الاكسبيرينس مور ايفيشنت عن اللي موجود في العادي. طبعا برضو في حاجات امبيدد كتير في الاونلاين اكسبيرينس وفي الاومني شانل اكسبيرينس. احنا برضو تارجتنج تو موف فور اومني شانل اكسبيرينس. احنا دلوقتي بنخلي ان فول انتجريشن بين الشانلز، ان يبقى عندك 360 فيو للكاستمرز، 360 فيو للبرودكتس او الستورز او التاتش بوينتس اللي موجوده جوه العربي كلها، لان ده برضو بيساعد ان احنا يخلينا مور افيشنت وان احنا ندي اكسبيرينس مختلفه للكاستمرز. فاحنا دايما بنذاكر التكنولوجي الجديده وعندنا فريق قوي جدا جدا كمان في التكنولوجي بيقدر يساعدنا ان احنا نديفلوب ده جوه العربي اول باول.
شكرا ممتاز. Michael, we were discussing the approach for the new features concerning the AI solutions, Web3, Metaverse, all the next era of the digital. We can consider it as Industry 5, the personalization or the personalized value for the customers using the AI, technology for humanity for sure. So, do you think that there will be a huge impact by AI or certain solutions on your approach for the digital ecosystem?
Well, there's a big impact. It's impacting everything. It's changing everything. And actually, I'm starting now a new book series, and it's all about exponential change. And the first book will be about artificial intelligence and innovation, because I think there's a lot of things happening in the market right now, and a lot of uncertainty at the same time. And we have to find a framework to combine it in the best possible way. And I think there's a lot of things we can use now from our current mindset. So I'm teaching, for example, at university, data scientists, and they really looking into how to learn Python and all these kind of programming languages. And I'm also telling them, look, the most important part is that you understand the problem, right? It's not about coding, it's understanding the problem. And design thinking can help us to understand the problem, because when you understand the problem, you do the right kind of coding, you do the right conclusions, and basically you can bring value to the customer. And so this mindset will stay, but there will be a lot of tools helping us to be quicker. For example, you can send out like 500 ideas to like millions of customers and getting feedback in no time. You can basically use AI for pattern recognition. So we can be much quicker in finding out pattern from insights. And there's a lot of things, I'm using now AI to do these things. Still, we're not at this level that we can do the entire end-to-end process with artificial intelligence, because we're missing the part of building up empathy, emotional intelligence, and many other things. And this might be coming along in 5, 10, 15 years, maybe sooner, I don't know. But at the moment, what we have with the AI toolbox, it can help us to be more efficient, to have better results. And something what I'm doing already now for 10 years, combining big data analytics and design thinking. So we're getting more evidence into the entire design process. And every time we can make it stronger with data, we should do so, because we know from a lot of studies and research that data always helps to predict something better or come out with better outcome. So the combination of both is very important. At the same time, we need kind of the human ability to imagine something not existing, because a lot of AI tools, they're using data from the past, right? And then if you're using data from the past and insights from the past, you're designing in the past. But humans have like the potential to really look into something not existing so far. And I think that's the important part. And the combination of both is very powerful. And I can really encourage everyone to use AI, big data analytics, and design thinking to create like the next customer experience, new product solutions, because together it's even more powerful than just using one domain.
Yeah, and also I remember a well-known statement for you that if you ask an expert, they will give you one option. If you ask young employees and young mindset, they will give you many options, right? So great. نرجع لدكتور منال. برضو أنا سؤال صعب شوية، بس لك كامل الحرية. انه طبعا احنا كلنا عارفين الحاج محمود العربي رحمه الله حد من القامات والقيادات الكبيرة في البيزنس، وكان له ثوابت وقواعد بنيت عليها المؤسسة حتى يومنا هذا. في روح كده موجودة في المؤسسة كلها، في تعاملاتها، في كل حاجة. ولكن في تحدي كبير عند الإدارة الحالية فيما يخص الاي اي سولوشنز. احنا عارفين مصانع العربي نفسها فيها روبوتس دلوقتي، يعني فيها روبوتس كتير شغاله، والتطور الكبير اللي بيحصل، كيف الحفاظ على نفس مبادئ ان انا ما امشيش الناس مع التحول الكبير في الاي اي والسولوشنز والروبوتس، وفكره التكنولوجي سنجولاريتي اللي هي بتستبدل في وظائف كتير جدا لبعض العمليات البشريه. فازاي التحول دوت في النشاطات والمهام؟ رؤيه حضرتك ايه في المنظور ده؟
طيب خليني اكلمك على الاي اي الاول واستخداماته هتبقى
طبعا
ازاي في الفيوتشر، وبعدين ارد على الجزء الثاني.
يا ريت.
زي ما احنا قلنا ان التكنولوجي دايما بتخلينا نشتغل مور efficient، واحنا عندنا تارجت كبير الحاج محمود حطه لنا قبل ما يتوفى، ان احنا ان شاء الله احنا دلوقتي 46,000 موظف نوصل ل 200,000 موظف
ان شاء الله.
فده التارجت بتاعنا، وهو كان دايما بيحسب وصيته بعدد الناس اللي شغاله معاه، مش بالفلوس
فعلا
ومش باي حاجه ثانيه.
فعلا
الاي اي تول مهمه جدا جدا ان احنا نستخدمها، لان ده هيساعد جدا ان انت تعمل ليفل اوف بيرسوناليزيشن وكاستمايزيشن مختلف تماما. انت ممكن تعمل اوفر لكاستمر معين، انت عملت له تراكنج للجورني بتاعته كلها من اول ما شاف الاد على الفيسبوك، دخل عندك على الاونلاين وشاف البرودكت دي عندك لحد الستور وشايف ان البرودكت ده موجود ولسه ما اشتراش. فانت تقدر تعمل له ان انت دلوقتي جنب الستور الفلاني تقدر تدخل المنتج تشتري المنتج اللي انت انترستد فيه ده بخصم 5% مثلا دلوقتي. فانت ممكن توصل لليفل اوف بيرسوناليزيشن انك تعمل بروموشن بير بيرسون، ان انت تبقى عامل تراكنج للجورني بتاعت الكاستمر كلها، فعارف ان المنتجات اللي عند الكاستمرز بتاعك تقدر تعمل له صيانه امتى، تقدر تعمل له صيانه ان ادفانس حتى، او ان انت تعرض عليه المنتج انه يعمل له ابجريدنج، او ان هو يعمل له تريد ان في وقت مناسب لان هو ابتدى يستخدمه within 5-6 سنين. فالاي اي تول مهمه جدا جدا طبعا، هتخلينا نفهم الكونسيومر بتاعنا والكاستمر بتاعنا بشكل كبير، فتقدر ان انت تشتغل بمور ايفيشنت سيرفيسز وبرودكت، حتى تبقى عارف الاي او تي بيخليك مثلا تبقى فاهم اليوزابيلتي بتاعت البرودكت عند الكاستمر عامل ازاي، هو استخدمه قد ايه في عدد الساعات، هو استخدمه الصبح ولا بالليل، على درجه حراره عامله ازاي مثلا. فانت كل الانسايتس دي هتخليك ان انت تنقل البرودكت والاكسبيرينس في حته ثانيه مختلفه تماما. زي ما قلت لك احنا ده الجزء الثاني بتاع السؤال، ان احنا هدفنا ان شاء الله ان احنا نوصل ل 200,000 موظف. التكنولوجي عمرها موجوده، وعمرها ما خلت ان حد يبقى خلاص ان هو يقعد في البيت او ما يشتغلش. لا بالعكس، هو في الاخر انت محتاج الهيومن فاكتور، ومحتاج ان الهيومن فاكتور ده يبقى ديفلوبد على التكنولوجي عشان يقدر يشتغل عليها. وفي ناس كتير هتعمل كارير شيفت، وفي ناس كتير هتروح لكاريرز ثانيه وتكنولوجي ثانيه، بس في الاخر انا في رايي ان الهيومن فاكتور عمره ما هيختفي، وان هيبقى موجود، لانه في الاخر هنبقى محتاجين ده. بلس ان في نقطه مهمه كمان ان لازم تحسبها، هي الكاستمر تكنولوجي اكسبتنس. هو امتى الكاستمر تقدر تانتروديوس التكنولوجي دي ويأكسبت ويبتدي يتعامل معاها بطريقه هو كمان efficient. لان انت برضو لو انت مش مذاكر الكونسيومر بتاعك كويس، هتبتدي تقدم له تكنولوجي عاليه عليه جدا، فساعتها مش هيبقى قابلها، فانت هتبقى كده سابقه بكتير، مش هتبقى برضو حاجه كويسه. فانت مهم قوي ان انت تدرس برضو الاكسبتنس بتاعه التكنولوجي عندك على الكاستمر بتاعك، عشان تقدر تمشي معاه خطوه بخطوه في التكنولوجي دي.
ده اكيد، وشفنا اكيد كيسز كتير الكاستمر ريدنس، استعداد الناس للجديد ممكن يرفضوه بعديها بكام سنه، نفس اللي رفضوه قبل كده ممكن. بالظبط
بالظبط.
بالظبط. ممتاز جدا. Professor Michael, have you presented to upcomers before during your work travel and keynotes and workshops, or it's your first time in Growth Plus with Nexus Training and Development in Egypt?
It was the first time to Cairo now that I'm presenting, and of course visiting the physical space again, because we had all the same problems of not traveling, staying home, doing a lot of remote webinars. So I'm quite happy and keen visiting. That's great. And I see a lot of interest in the region now for like new capabilities and innovation. So I had also a call today with kind of basically out of Dubai this time, but they were asking to create like chief innovation officer capabilities for the governmental organization, but also for private organizations. And we're looking into kind of a capability build program for a couple of years of upscaling and creating kind of a different mindset in the region. And I think it's really picking up now. People have interest. I get a lot of requests for putting these programs into place. And hopefully, I mean, it always comes with education, it comes with training, it comes with living this up on a daily basis. And I think we have to start. And even if we only educate 10, 20, 30, 50 people, it's a good start. And they will start to change the mindset, educating other people. So I think it doesn't matter how many people you have in these trainings, we should really start and keep going into these trainings and capability build way. And hopefully we can change the mindset of many.
Yeah, for sure. We're living now today in a dynamic and uncertain conditions. And even we're not living in a limiting resources or limitation. It's a diminishing resources. It's a huge challenge for corporate executives how to lead and manage regardless your resources using innovation. Simply innovate or evaporate as well. I'm looking forward for the workshops in the night cruise. It will be an amazing experience with the innovation culture, with different executives, with you. It will be a huge experience. I'm waiting for this for sure. Dr. Manal, برضو your advice بقى. يعني كحد من الناحيه الاكاديميه ومن الناحيه العلميه حضرتك يعني عايشه فيما يخص الديجيتال ماركتنج and centricity, customer centricity and technology. Your advice for the coming startups and businesses in general. ما بقاش في بقى كبير وصغير. startup it's not a smaller version of the company. ممكن ستارت اب صغيره 3 شباب صغيرين يطلعوا بايديا يهدوا نشاط كبير جدا. ف your advice concerning how to embrace technology الفتره اللي جايه.
خليني اتكلم على هيومن فاكتور في التكنولوجي. انا في درس مهم جدا اتعلمته حقيقي من ليدنج الجزء بتاع الدايركت تشانلز. كان عندي الاول بيرسبشن ان صعب الديفلوبمنت في البيبل، وانا لازم امبورد ناس جديده فاهمه اوريدي في التكنولوجي وهم دول اللي هيعملوا السكسس اند سو اون. الدرس الكبير اللي اتعلمته لا، ان الناس نقدر نعمل فيهم ديفلوبمنت حتى لو ناس كبيره او ان هم ما اتعاملوش مع التكنولوجي قبل كده. طالما انت عارف درست جدا الكاستمرز بتاعك وبنيت التكنولوجي دي بيزد على كاستمرز. يعني هو زي ما بقول كده دايما ان اي حد يقدر يعمل اي كوميرس، بس الشاطر اللي يعرف يعمل اي كوميرس للتارجت سيجمنت بتاعه بيزد على الفانكشن والفيتشرز اللي هم بيدوروا عليها. ونفس القصه برضو على التيم بتاعك، انت لازم تبقى مذاكر التيم كويس جدا وتعرف ايه الفانكشن اللي بيدور عليها، ايه الباريرز اللي عنده عشان تقدر تبني له التكنولوجي اللي مناسبه ليه، اللي تقدر تعمل السكسس اللي فعلا اتحول. فده من اهم الدروس الحقيقيه اللي اتعلمتها. ان احنا لازم نذاكر الكونسيومر او الكاستمرز بتوعنا سواء انترنالي او اكسترنالي، ونبتدي نبيلد التكنولوجي بيزد عليهم هم، مش على اي حاجه ثانيه.
ممتاز. Also the same question for Professor Michael with the conclusion for Dr. Manal keynote. She was speaking about the 3 pillars of making something doable: technology and process and people, and that she invests in people and mindsets, and she believes that no one finds it hard to have the technology fluency, if we can say that. So your approach as well for the technology and people and process concerning the business models and innovation in corporate?
Well, I think these things are the most important parts. You have to connect, right? And I'm always starting with the mindset, of course, trying to change the people. And then, of course, later on, I'm going a little bit deeper and say, look, we can define a process, but if you can have the best process in the world of creating something, but if the people not giving you the buy-in, they're not curious about the future, they're not kind of motivated to do anything, the process will not help. So my approach is really starting at the human side, change the behavior, look into kind of different motivators to come up with innovation and do, for example, design thinking or ecosystems design. And then, of course, later on, you can define the process, how people collaborate and work. And of course, technology will always help. But technology is for me just an enabler. So all these technologies, AI, blockchain, cloud computing, whatever's out there, it's an enabler to create something, but it's not the core. Because if you start with looking at technology as the core and trying to be innovative, we have seen this many times. Just look into distributed ledger and blockchain. I mean, we're not successful because we're not looking into the customer problem. We're not looking into the ecosystem. We're always focusing on technology and too heavily focusing on technology. And that's the reason why we had a lot of proof of concepts. We had a lot of explanation about blockchain, but finally, it's not applied in the core processes, the core systems of large organizations. And the reason is that people were talking too much about technology and not enough about the business ecosystem design, the business model, and the customer problem to solve. But, you know, that's just a learning again. For me, I'm always starting on the human side.
عايز اضيف حاجه على اللي مايكل بيقول، ان احنا دايما نشوف التكنولوجي از تول، مش نبقى اوبسس بالتكنولوجي او بالسولوشن نفسه. لا، لان ممكن احنا بعد ما ندرس البروسيس عندنا وندرس الناس نلاقي لا احنا محتاجين this kind of technology، مش حاجه كبيره. وما يبقاش الهدف ان احنا نimplement التكنولوجي نفسها، الهدف ان احنا عندنا اوبجكتيف واضح، الاوبجكتيف ده بالنسبه للبروسيس نختار له التكنولوجي الصح. فالتكنولوجي is just a tool مش اكتر من كده.
Great. So طب انا اخد من حضرتك final note without a question. يعني مش شرط يكون question انا بساله، بالعكس ممكن يكون في نوت final note حضرتك عايزه تديها للناس بالذات اللي هيحضروا مع multi culture approach مع different speakers international speakers في Growth Plus event، او حتى نصيحه عامه لكل الاكزيكتيفز اللي اسمعونا. طبعا بما ان NEXUS يعني NEXUS Training and Development Company, she's approaching mainly business executives and top leaders in different industries. فرسالة حضرتك ايه عن الفترة القادمة كحد ليدر في الايكو سيستم لحاجة اسمها بزنس يعني؟
طيب، يعني انا في رايي ان الريسيرش والديتا اناليسيس دي من اهم الحاجات اللي الناس لازم تذاكرها كويس جدا جدا، لان يوجوالي في مصر بالذات احنا بنجمع ديتا كتير قوي بتبقى مهمله، ومحدش بيركز ان الداتا دي كنز حقيقي، ان احنا نقدر نطلع منها حاجات كتيره جدا جدا تعمل شفت في البيزنس وتربح تكسبنا وتعمل لنا ارباح كبيره جدا جدا. فالديتا والريسيرش مهمين جدا ان احنا نذاكرهم، ان احنا نقراهم. الاستادي بتاع الكونسيومر بيهيفير دي حاجه كونتينيوس، مش حاجه بنعملها مره واحده وبس، لان التشينج اللي بقى بيحصل في الكونسيومر بيهيفير في مصر بقى ميجر جدا وبسرعه، مش زي الاول مثلا تقول 10 سنين على ما يحصل التغيير، لا بالعكس ممكن من سنه لسنه تلاقي كونسيومر بيهيفير لا مختلف جدا، وتبتدي انت تديفلوب عليه، وده يخليك تجني ارباح بشكل مختلف تماما. بس كده.
ميرسي. لا هي ده كل حاجة دلوقتي في جملة مفيدة. تسلمي. Professor Michael, your message for the coming attendees for your event for Growth Plus, and we will have different international speakers in the field of growth and innovation. What do you have as a conclusion for or a message or keynote for them to join us in this event?
I'm really happy to meet all of them. First of all, that's the most important part. And second part is I like to get a lot of point of views for the topic. And the third part is I like to talk about design thinking for humanity. So what is the next level of innovation? What's coming next, right? We're good for business growth. We're good for customer centricity, customer experience, immersive kind of experiences we create. What is the next thing we have to do? What is the next kind of behavior shifts, the next mindset we have to apply to create something for humanity? And this will be kind of a nice discussion at night at the coffee breaks, and I'm looking forward to get a lot of opinions about this one.
For sure. We're looking for this. Finally, thanks a lot for this precious time for you both executives and academic gurus. And thanks a lot for this time, Dr. Akram and all the team for Nexus and training and development. And looking forward to see you all in Growth Plus event. Thanks a lot, dears.
Thanks for having us. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.